Good evening. Hopefully I am live and it's 8 o'clock or a minute past, so sorry. It's not Tuesday, is it? It's Monday. Is it Monday? Is it Monday? Yes, it's Monday the 8th of December. How can we be in December already? I know I say this every time, and I know it's been a month since the last one, which just feels as though it was like maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe. I don't know where the time's going. However, I hope you're all well. I am very well, and I know I've not been much in evidence, but this just seems to be where I'm at the moment. It's just, the wee creatures are there, but they're not appearing as much or as frequently or at the same sort of rate as they have done in the past. And as I said before, I don't think that's any particular, it's not really a bad thing, it's just a different thing. So thank you for bearing with me. There will be wee creatures in the shop this week, and I've got I'll have maybe a dozen, maybe 15 or so, and I'll give you, obviously, those of you in the heads, in the Quernaholics Anonymous group, you will all get the first news of whenever that happens. However, here we are, and yes, it's just like, how can it be like 2 weeks before Christmas? Anyway, tonight I want to do something Christmassy because I have really made very few Christmas creatures this year, which again is a first. I mean, all this, I just feel like I'm in uncharted territory, but my ideas are still there. The wee creatures are still jumping up and going, yes, I want to be made, because that's how they speak to me. They've got very high-pitched voice. And yes, so today I found these because I'm still looking out for wee things for the wee creatures to play with. And look what I found. So it's ceramic, or it might be resin, but I think it's ceramic. But they're just like a little pile of Christmas presents. Very, quite rough and ready, quite rustic looking, I suppose, but perfect for wee creatures to be climbing on. And when I say wee creatures, it's got to be mice. For whatever reason, at the moment, it's the mice who want to come out and play with these things. The other option that I might do, I'm not sure whether I'll do it tonight. I probably won't be able to do it tonight. But I've also found these great little parcels. I think I found these in Hobbycraft, actually, with wire bows. Now they're all individual, but I like the idea of them sort of, being joined together and just being a bit of an obstacle course, an assault course, basically, for the wee creatures to jump around on. So that's another idea that I'm playing with. And well, I don't know, I love the colours. They're just so Christmassy. And I can just see them sort of clambering up, jumping up and down on them. However, so there we go. So this is what's on my mind today. And I keep getting these messages that I've got a slow connection going. I'm very sorry. I don't know. Hopefully you can hear me okay. But I can never see comments as and when they go on. So I'm really sorry that I can't read any comments. And I don't even know who's there. So I hope that you're well, and I hope that you'll bear with me whilst I make some little mice. I think it needs to be little white mice that clamber about on these. They're just really sweet. I don't know. There's just something quite cute about them. They are, what's that about? In fact, I can tell you. So that's just about 6 centimeters tall in total. So of course we're going to have like a little mouse standing up here, and there will have to be a little brave one, of course, because there's always a little brave mouse clambering about on top. So they'll be standing on the very edge of this parcel here and reaching the top. There may have to be a third mouse because most of my wee creatures comes in threes when they're jumping on top of things. It's just the way that they are. Anyway, I really want to hear all your news. So do please post a comment and tell me what you've been up to, because I'd love to hear. As I say, I know I've not been about very much, and I am sorry for that. I have not forgotten you, and I've not forgotten the wee creatures. I'm just so busy with singing at the moment, and it's the time of year as well. I've just never done so much singing this year than I've done. It's just never happened before. So I mean, I've always had sort of Christmas services to go to and all the rest of it, but for whatever reason, it all just seems to be taking up more time than usual. So, or than has done in the past. Let's put it that way. Which is strange and nice. and I'm enjoying it, but I kind of feel a bit weird because, you know, I'm not, the wee creatures are not appearing at the same rate as they always have done. But I'm trusting that they're doing what they're meant to be doing. And I'm just wondering, actually, that's 4 grams of clay there, and I'm just thinking maybe 4 grams for the top mouse, and I'll make a 5-gram clay for the bottom one, because that's going to be the big brother or big sister of the one at the top. And actually, I think on this one, maybe just 2 mice will work, in fact. So let's see how that goes. Sorry, I'm distracting myself with this anyway. Yeah, I feel in uncharted territory is how I'm feeling just now, which, as I say, is a bit unsettling, but probably no bad thing. I think that we all need to kind of, well, I don't think we all need to do anything. I think there is times in our lives when we do sort of go, oh, what are we doing now? And where do we want to go now? And that last happened for me 16 and a half years ago, well, 17 really, when I gave up my job as a lawyer in 2009. So, and I'm not saying that because I'm giving up the wee creatures, far from it. They're still very much a big part of me, of who I am. They're just appearing in different ways. I'm actually taking on more commissions than I used to do. So rather than just making lots of wee creatures in a pipeline or on a sort of a conveyor belt sort of thing, I'm doing more special ones. So if people sort of get in touch and say, oh, like, for example, I just had a little bunny, a little custom bunny that I made because a much loved furry bunny was unfortunately, died. And so I was asked if I could make a little bunny to commemorate Chester, which I was delighted to do. So, the wee creatures are very, very good at making appearances for special occasions and to really make people, I don't know, just to commemorate people, places, creatures, events, whatever. They're very good at that. And so I want to do more of that. But it will mean, I think, less of the creatures appearing in the shop. And who knows? Let's see what happens. I don't know about you, but I know I say this every week, or every time that I'm chatting to you, but time really does seem to be doing strange things, to the extent that I'm finding it quite hard to remember what and when and where has been, where I've been, what I've been doing. I mean, I've very much enjoyed it whenever I have been off out and about doing things. For example, this weekend I had 2 services. I was singing in 2 services on Sunday morning, and on Saturday night I went to a concert. Enrique and I went to a concert. He's back home. Yay! He's back home and now until Christmas, although I think he's going to be off in Germany for most of January because his big project is coming to an important part, and he's needed to be there on site in North Germany, just off the coast of North Germany. So, but I'm going to have him at home now until the end of the year, which I'm very glad about. So last week, was it the tail end of last week or the week before? See, this is what I mean. It's like I remember what I was doing, but I can't always remember when. And I don't know that it's just being old or getting older. It just seems very strange that time has a sort of a different way of being in the world at the moment. I mean, time is a very subjective thing anyway, and it passes differently for each person. The actual the experience of it is different for all of us. Anyway, and this, I think in my head, I'm still in about July, so I don't know how it can be December. So it's like blink, and I've had a very full. It's been very full and very busy and full of lots of wonderful experiences. But I look back and it's like, well, how did the last 3 months suddenly happen? And I'm conscious that I'm gabbling. I've not spoken to anybody today, so you're getting it, I'm afraid. Definitely a very blethery brew. And I don't even have a fresh brew waiting for me. Did I tell you that I'm into nettle tea now, rather than tea bag tea, as I like to call it? Nettle tea is very refreshing and very green and just really lovely. It's very refreshing, and you can drink it whether it's hot or cold, which works for me because I often leave my tea or forget about it and then have to come back to it. So rather than putting it into a microwave, then I just drink it cold or top it up with more hot water, and then that works very well too. Anyway, blethery brew. So, was it last week or was it the tail end of the week before? I can't exactly remember. I think it might have been last week, but I was in Berlin. And Enrique was out there with work. And in fact, it was a week past on Thursday. Now I remember. But it does feel as though it was last Thursday, just like the Thursday just gone. This is what I mean about the strangeness of time. Everything seems to have happened much more recently than it actually did, if that makes sense. Anyway, yes, so he was out in Berlin, staying in the Hilton in East Berlin, near Checkpoint Charlie. That's his sort of place that's his base when he's out there. And because it was, of course, this is why it was the end of November, because it was our anniversary on the 30th of November. So as part of those celebrations, I went out on the Thursday, and to fly back with him on the Friday. And it was lovely. I know it was like sort of 36 hours, if that, that I was out there for. But we had such a good time. We went round the Christmas markets, which are beautiful in Germany. Absolutely amazing. We ended up walking about 10 miles, I think, over the course of the Thursday or the Friday afternoon. Because I arrived there sort of like late afternoon on Thursday. We had a bit of a relaxed evening, went out for a nice meal, and then we hit the markets on Friday. And it was super. I mean, it was cold, but not as cold as it was one time I was in Berlin and it was like sub-zero. It was very cold and very damp. So it was quite wet, very humid, which of course makes the temperature always feel much colder than it really is. And yeah, we went to Alexanderplatz, and I think we went through 3 Christmas markets. It's wonderful that there are so many. Had Glühwein, of course, sat in front of an open brazier, put a log on the fire, had some hot chocolate with Baileys, it was just lovely. It was so nice to see him after, we've just not really seen each other much over the last few months. And as I say, come January, he's going to be out there again. But it was a real treat to go and see him. And to fly back together as well. It was nice, sort of falling asleep on his shoulder in the plane on our way back. And it was just as well that I was back on we were back on the Friday night, because then again I was singing in 2 services again on the Sunday. In the morning I was at Holy Name, and then in the afternoon I was at another church in Didsbury, South Manchester, doing evensong. And we did, it was a wonderful service. It was so nice. For somebody who's not religious, and that would be me, it's remarkable how often I find myself in churches, but the music is just so wonderful. It's just glorious. Anyway, so that was a week past on Saturday, but it feels as though it was just the weekend past. So forgive me for getting awfully confused about the time. Anyway, I am just shaping up this little mouse at the moment, who is cocking his head, and he's going to be looking up to see what's going on with the mouse at the top. So this was the 5-gram mouse, and it was a bit flobby, as you could probably tell. But he's going to be standing up, let's bring him down there, standing there looking up. And then the slightly smaller one, the little mini, or the smaller brother, I think they're brothers, will be just clambering up onto the top. And we'll see whether a third one wants to come along as well. But let's go for this. Now, the other thing I was going to tell you about was Have I told you before that I've had plantar fasciitis? I probably have. I've probably talked about it because it's a horrible thing to have, where it's a condition that affects your feet, the sole of your feet, and it affects the fascia at the bottom of your feet and makes it feel as though you're walking on Lego bricks all the time. Unpleasant in the extreme, and I've had it on and off for years, and I was given orthotics to wear, insoles. And it's such a shame because I love to walk. I mean, I go out every day. I try and get out for a long walk every day. Today I did about 4.5 miles or something. Anyway, I was given orthotics, and I was wearing heavy hiking boots all the time just to try and give my feet nice and lots of support. And for a while that worked. And then it came back again earlier this year, beginning the first half of the year. I had a recurrence of it, and it was so soul destroying. Actually, it was really, it was really horrible to get it back again, despite me wearing these orthotics, wearing heavy boots. So I decided to look and see what other alternatives there were. I didn't go back to the podiatrist who had first prescribed the orthotics, which are not cheap. If anybody knows anything about custom insoles for shoes, they are definitely not cheap. Anyway, so I found a channel on YouTube, in fact, a Dr. Angela. And if anybody has any troubles with feet, please think about, investigating, because she's a very common sense. She's from Texas, I think. She's got this wonderful accent. And she's basically just said, look, you just need to strengthen your feet with exercises and let them walk the way that they were meant to walk. Wearing orthotics, she said, was just the same way as continuing to wear a plaster on your arm long after the bone had healed. And that made perfect sense to me. So I started doing these exercises. It was, slow progress, but I did them every day. And it was just, like curling your toes, spreading your toes, strengthening your calf muscles, basically strengthening the muscles and which support your foot movements. Basically, that was the idea. And then it must be about 2 or 3 months ago. I'm wearing zero drop shoes. These are shoes which have the heel. There's no heel lift at all. Most modern shoes have got a raised heel to a greater or lesser extent. Even the ones which look flat have usually got a raised heel. And so zero drop or barefoot shoes, if you've ever heard or come across them, is where your heel is at the same level as your forefoot. So there's absolutely no lift at all. Your feet are very much at right angles to your body. And initially, and the idea is like no orthotics, no or minimal padding, just to try and get your feet to be to strengthen, to get better, basically. Gosh, I am wittering on about these exercises. I hope you don't mind, but I'm so happy because it has worked. The exercises have worked. I wore transitional shoes to begin with, which is zero drop, but with more padding, because I was so used to, my feet were spoiled. They were so used to being cushioned and supported. They just didn't have any strength to them. They didn't have any mobility. So I needed a bit of extra help, a transitional shoe to begin with. And I think they were Ultra, A-L-T-R-A, ultra running shoes or something. And that's all I wore. And then about 2 months ago, my feet told me, and I literally mean this, like one day I felt, oh, these shoes are too cushioned. I need to not wear them anymore. And I transitioned on to proper barefoot shoes, which they have very, very thin insoles. You can get sort of ones which are a bit more robust for hiking and whatnot, but the general idea is that you have as little padding on your feet as possible and let your feet be feet. And it worked. It was amazing. And I have happy feet, which is so important. I'm sure you all agree that having happy feet is one of the most important things that you can have. If you have sore feet, it's painful. It's debilitating. It's just, and particularly if you love walking as I do. So to be able to actually wear these minimal shoes, And I've now got a range of them. I don't think I could ever go back to normal shoes. So they've got a wide toe box as well. So they've got, you know, they're no pointy toes, because that just forces your feet into an unnatural shape. So it's wide toe box, zero drop heel, and minimal soles. That's the basic. That's the basic idea of a barefoot shoe, and they are just the most comfortable thing that I just love wearing them, and I just love feeling the ground beneath my feet, and I love trusting my feet again after having years and years and years of problem feet where I got blisters and plantar fasciitis and tendonitis and all sorts of things. I now have feet that I trust, and it's just, I can't tell you how wonderful it is. But, well, I obviously have just been telling you how wonderful it is. Sorry for going on about it, but it's still a novelty, and I don't know that it's ever going to get boring for me. I don't think I'll ever take it for granted. It's just the best feeling in the world that I can go out and trust my feet and enjoy feeling the ground beneath me. Anyway, so that's the other big thing which has happened this year. I have rediscovered I have a good relationship with my feet again. Yay! And it's such good fun. So yes, if anybody has, I mean, if you've never had problems with your feet, you are so lucky, and be grateful every day that you don't. And if you ever have had or are having problems with your feet, think about exploring alternative avenues than orthotics and the traditional advice that's given. To me, it just makes perfect sense that you want to let your feet be feet, and they can't be feet if they're cushioned and supported and all that sort of thing. I mean, that's just going to make them weaker. And pretend that, you know, you're keeping stronger because you know, you've got all this support, so it must be doing your feet some good. But actually, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Right. Okay, this little one is nearly there, and I'm going to have him, I think, because it's flat on this side, so he really doesn't have very much to hang on to at all. So he's going to have to be reaching up. I think he's going to have just one paw on the corner. So I just want to make sure I get the position of him right at this stage. So yeah, so he'll be on tiptoe there, I think. Oh, I hope I'm in the right place. I've not actually checked the screen for a while here. I hope it's all right. Yes, so flob alert. So he's sticking quite nicely. It's quite warm in here. We've had so much rain. I mean, I don't know, have you had rain where you are? It's a bit relentless at the moment. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know whether you can see that. So he's going to be peering up at the bottom, trying to find him. I kind of want to put him there as well. In fact, do you know what? So as I'm looking at this, I think one needs to be standing there, and I'm going to have another one there. So I am going to have three. Yay, have to have three. So I just need to, so right, I'll leave them to one side, and I'll cut one more. I'm going to have to get some more white clay as well, because the white just pops against the red and the green. It's wonderful. And I think I'll make another 4-gram mouse, another little mouse at the corner. Or actually, should I have, maybe I'll have the larger mouse there, and he can be looking up, and then I can have the 4-gram, the slightly smaller mouse, standing up, because that makes sense actually. Then you have the whole internal consistency thing, where you've got two little bratty mice, two little sibling mice, who are just clambering up and down, having fun, and being looked after by a concerned parent. I think it's a parent that's looking after them. So we'll just have him over there. This is another 4 grams of clay, but I do need to get some more white clay, so just bear with me a second. Right. Oh. Okay. So I'll move that just to one side there, and make a start on the 3rd mouse here. They do like to go in threes. I'm very happy with You were like, I think the last climbing mice I made were on the avocado. The avocado light pool, which I started making one of the mice in the last Brew in the Blethers, and that was raffled off to raise money for Enrique's swim. And thank you again to everybody who bought tickets. I'm delighted that the three little mice, along with many other travelling companions, are on their way to America, and hopefully it won't be long until they land. But yes, that was so much fun making those, and we raised £400 for his charity, the World Villages for Children. So he's going to keep the charity appeal open because this is what he's planning to do next year. He's going to swim the Strait of Gibraltar next year. It'll be around about sort of the end of September, beginning of October. I think that's roughly when it'll be. Hopefully after the orca season, because apparently you do get killer whales, orcas, in the Mediterranean. And the Strait of Gibraltar is the narrowest point between the African continent and the southernmost tip of Spain. So it's not as big a swim as, say, the English Channel, which of course he has done as well, because he's just a marvel, is my husband. But it's the currents are very tricky. It's going to be a challenge, but he's up for it. I mean, having done the 22-kilometre swim, which is wonderful, and doing it in only 7.5 hours, but that was in the temperature of the water. He said it was about 28 degrees, so it was like being in a swimming pool basically, but you were in the Atlantic Ocean. And of course, it got a little cooler through the night. He started swimming at like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is just wow. I mean, I read Jaws when I was too young, so I kind of have never liked being in the open water because you just never know what's beneath you. But he loves it. He loves the zenness of it. He loves swimming under the moon and just being so close to nature. In nature, just in this water, and just being a visitor to an alien realm, effectively. I mean, really, what is water? We are 70% water, but it's something we can't breathe and we can't survive in, and it covers, funnily enough, 70%, I think it is, of the surface of the Earth. But there's for example, the Mariana Trench, which is one of the deepest parts of the ocean. Like we know far less about it than we do about, say, Everest or the tallest mountains. It's completely unknown and hidden from us. It's occult. So yes, he loves it. I'm a bit wary of it, shall we say? But I'm very happy to hold the towels. Now, whether I will go with him next year, gosh, it's not happening next week. Whether I go with him next year or not remains to be seen. Because we'll be in Venice earlier at the end of August, beginning of September again. Yay, Venice. It's so lovely. I just love that city. It's improbable. Right, I know I'm changing the subject again, but if anybody, whoever has been to Venice, if you haven't, go at some point. It should be on everybody's bucket list, I think. But I was recommended by a friend of mine, to read the Donna Leon series, the Commissario Brunetti. She's written 38 books, and they're all based on this police officer in Venice. She's never had them published in Italian, which is interesting. So you can just, they're in English, and they're very popular in Germany as well. The Germans made a TV show based on this the book series. But it's wonderful. So most of them are set in Venice themselves, but so I'm working my way through them, and it's lovely actually having a really good book series to get my teeth into. And they're written very well as well. I mean, really, really very, very good. So can highly recommend that. And whilst we're on the subject of a fictional detective series, we don't have a TV license. We haven't had one for years. We just don't watch television. There's too many exciting things to do without, we don't need to sort of sit down and watch telly. But we will watch box sets, DVDs, films. That's how we sort of relax of a weekend. Right, just getting the fourth one up here. Oh, he's going to bend. He's going to peer around the corner. He's going to play hide and seek. Yeah, that's okay. That's pretty good. Excellent. All right. That's the three of them kind of set up now. They have to be in threes. So who am I going to make first? Actually, sorry, I'm squirreling myself. I'm just sort of jumping in here. I think, what time is it? Just gone 8 local time, or UK time, I should say. I don't know whether we've got anybody in from America. Hopefully, it might be nice to see you. It's pitch black here and has been pitch black since 4 o'clock this afternoon. I am not a great fan of winter, even though it can be beautiful. But the good thing about time going by so quickly, and it really is going by so quickly, the good thing about it is that it's not long until the longest day. Then we'll have a few really short, sorry, not the longest day, the longest night, the shortest day. We'll have a few really short days, and then it'll start getting lighter again as we get into, sort of February and March of next year. And 2026 just feels like, I don't know how we can be quite so close to that. Anyway, right. I've lost track of my meandering there. But what was it? Oh, Venice, I suppose. The Donna Leon, the Commissario Brunetti series. What else? What else has been happening in my life other than lots of singing and whatnot? I think have I been down in London since the last one? I think. When was the last one? It was at the beginning of November. Just try. I mean, really, I'm having to kind of give some serious thought to when things happened, because I'm a bit clueless, really. Could be just my age, could be, but no. I even hear lots of young people just saying that time is a bit screwy just now. Anyway, I was in London the middle of November, so I can't remember whether I had I told you that I was down there? Anyway, I was down there for 4 days for the London International Festival of Early Music, as you do. I was representing all the early music forums because I'm sure I've mentioned this many times before, but I am the chair, and not a piece of furniture, but I am the chair of the Northwest Early Music Forum, which is all about promoting the understanding, performance and enjoyment of early music in the community, because early music is my absolute favourite thing in the world, apart from the wee creatures. Sorry, little mice, don't get upset. So early music being anything from 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th century. That's favourite really is 16th century, so the 1500s. And Venice was absolutely, that was one of the central points for early music. You had, Gabriele, Andrea and his nephew Giovanni, and there was lots. I won't go into it. Sorry, I get distracted. I apologise. What I am doing now is just rolling out pause, and also I need to get. This is the clay on the thickest setting for the pause, and I will just roll out a very fine setting for the inner ears, basically. I am conscious. I mean, it's always nice to get at least one wee creature done. Sorry, I've just that was a bit of a disaster when it comes to cutting out ears. It would be lovely to get one of them done, but I'm also conscious of the time. I think I said this was actually going to be until 1:45 this time, rather than just the half hour. I realise that I am so bad at timekeeping. I just, I always think, I can do this in so long, or it'll only take me this long, or oh, I'll definitely get back to you then. And then time disappears and I'm like, where did it go? And yeah. So, and the same works with the Brew and Blethers, which I always think should last only half an hour. And well, last time I think I was there until 9, pretty much, close enough. I'll just bring these down a little bit. Right. So I've changed my ear regime. I'm just squashing it a little bit, and I'm using a slightly larger circle so that the inner ear has more coverage than used to be. I used to use a slightly smaller diameter circle cutter for these. It means I've got to kind of slightly squish the actual, the basic part of the ear, just so that there is at least a little rim of white to go round. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm cutting them all out for all 3 of them just now, but it would be nice to finish one, but I don't know that I'll have time. But hey, just think, you'll have this to look forward to tomorrow morning. And actually, I'm getting a visitor tomorrow morning, a Quernaholic. Rosie is coming up with her friend. She's coming up to visit the Christmas markets in Manchester and spend a bit of time in the Northwest, and she's going to pop in and visit as well, so I'll see her in the morning. So it'll be lovely to catch up with her, and if anybody is in the passing by, do get in touch. It would be lovely to see you. I have met quite a few of you over the years, and it's always a pleasure to do it. So please do bear that in mind, that you can always come by and visit. And next year, actually, one of Alison from America is going to come over with her husband to spend some time in the UK, and we're hoping to meet up in Manchester as well when she's over. So that'll be lovely. It's a treat. It's a treat to meet you all in real life, and to speak to you, and to actually just instead of just either a photo on the screen or a couple of words or whatever. It's lovely. I've been down to Kent several times to see Sarah. I've met Lorna, who came over to Cuddesdon near Oxfordshire when I was down there earlier in the summer. And I was thinking back to the Querness meetups I used to have as well. Sorry, there's a lot of flob on this little mouse, this is taking me longer to prepare than usual. So it's always a pleasure to meet you, particularly when it's the wee creatures that are the connecting point, and that's a huge compliment, really, to me, to them, that you kind of they've created such a lovely community of people. And part of me, I must confess, has felt rather bad for being not as in evidence as I always have been, or have been for the last 16 years anyway. So I'm sorry about that, but it's not, well, I don't think it'll always be like that. I think come the new year, once I've got sort of a better handle on how I can sort of what's the word? Kind of combine, the wee creatures and all the music that I'm doing, and not just singing, but also all the admin that I'm doing for not only NOEMF, for the Northwest Early Music Forum, but I'm also on the committee for the National Early Music Association as well, and I'm kind of helping them get their website up and running. So there's lots of other things, lots of other balls that I'm juggling at the moment, and it's finding the way forward. That's really what I want to do. So, oh dear, I haven't actually increased or reduced the size of the cutter, not the cutter, the roller. Until then, sorry about this. I don't mean to sort of disappear off completely. It just had to roll out a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's just one more. That's the thing, my pasta machine is a bit dirty at the moment, so I need to give it a good deep clean, because anytime you roll clay through it, sometimes it picks up some old clay that's been kicking around. Anyway, enough of that. Just going to put on the ears, and at least I'm going to do an eye box rummage. Yay! If Alison's here, you'll be happy that the eye box is coming out. Let me just. Oh, he's just a little bit too flobby for me. Anyway, just need a little bit of the nose clay. This is the translucent Female Professional Doll Art Rose colour is what I use for the ears, the nose, the paws. So there we go. And I just, the way that they just start to come to life, it never ceases to delight me. And I think that's they still delight me, and that's to be absolutely celebrated. Because although, you know, I have other things that I'm doing now as well as, they still just make me very happy. And to see their little personalities come to life is just lovely. Right, eye box now. It's yeah, I'm going to need the 2mm, but the slightly bigger 2mm ones. Honestly, it is quite a lottery. Sorry, I just need to move all these out the way. And I need to top these up with the next level of, or the next batch of slightly larger 2mm ones. Right, that will do nicely. And that's too small. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Oh, I know, I've just lost it. Oh, was it that one? Yeah, that'll do. Right, eye box moved carefully to one side. Getting the holes in there. There we go. I'm just, yeah, marrying up the bead hole itself, pinching it between the needle nose pliers and making sure that I don't mark the clay around the eyes as well. Right, eye box returning safely until the other two get done as well. Oh, there we go. Oh. Right, and clay shaper. The clay is quite soft today. It is warm in here. I'm not complaining. I'm very fortunate that we have excellent heating in the mill. It's wonderful. And there have even, don't tell anybody, but there have even been times when I've had to put on the air conditioning because it's been so warm. They have the heating on all the time in the winter, which can be a little much. Right. Okay. Oh, look. They kind of look a bit like seals at this stage. They could be anything. They could, yeah. They're just magic. They are just magic. Right. Oh, okay. So ears next. So again, a slightly larger ball shaper. Just to make that a concave ear. And that, there is a little white rim around the outside. So that's why I like using the slightly larger circle insert for the ears. Because when I was using the smaller cutters, if it wasn't exactly centered in the ear, then you got a lopsided inner ear, basically. We can't have that. Can't have that. Right. Okay. So, just pinching the ear in so that it's at the right angle. I wonder how many ears I have actually made. That would be an interesting sum to do. I've never actually worked out how many creatures I have made over the years. but I think it certainly must be well over maybe 12,000, maybe 15. I don't know. It's an interesting question to have. Oh no, there's that ear's. Oh, that had a bit of. Don't know whether you can see that. There's a little dirty bit of, like a little seam of dirt that's gone through that ear. I'm going to have to make up another ear, make sure that it's clean. Anyway, these things happen. These things happen. Yeah, so how many ears, how many paws, how many thousands of wee creatures are out there roaming the world? I love the idea of it. I mean, it's just, I keep a record, of course, of, you know, like I've got my master spreadsheet with all my wee creatures listed. But, you know, for example, in the days when I was doing craft fairs, I didn't, you know, I didn't enter the sale of every single creature to craft fair. I was just like total sales at a craft fair. So that could represent, you know, 20, 30, 40 creatures. Who knew? So yeah, I've never actually worked out just how many creatures I have made, but it's certainly into the thousands. Right. So I'm just trimming the edge of the ear so that it's at a 45-degree angle, and that'll sit nicely on the head. Right. And he's looking up. Such a sweet little face. They just, yeah. Oh, they do make me smile. They do make me smile. There we go. Right, and then just to blend it as carefully as I can, bearing in mind that the clay is very soft. There we go. Oh, look. Look at that little face. So this is going to be concerned parent mouse. So he's going to be looking up. Still not happy that he's been, she, not sure. I think it might be a mother mouse, but not completely deflobbed. Oh, I'll probably have to spend a bit of time in the daylight. Make sure it's okay. Right, okay, so that is mouse number 1. I'll just put pause. And because she's standing, it's a she. It's a she. Just announced it. Because she's going to be standing on the ground, you'll be able to see her. Then I will sign her paw, which is better to do it whilst before it becomes attached, basically. Oh, and I haven't cut a tail yet, have I? I'll need to do a tail. It's 10 to 9. Gosh. I get carried away. And I don't know, yeah, time as well. It's such a weird thing. Have I said that before today? I think I might have once or twice. Sorry. Sorry for repeating myself. But yeah, it's... And I don't think it is just getting older, because I have heard young people say that there's something strange happening with time as well. So, but that does suggest that it's an objective thing happening. It's maybe just my relationship with it is just a bit odd now. Right. Flob clear up. And I'll just quickly lightly press that in so that it's not proud of the foot, as it were. Oh, sorry. And then a little bit of extender medium, strengthen the ball joint, put that on, there we go. And then she is going to just stand about there. So just at the corner, looking up at this little one who I think, yeah, so it's like she's sort of wanting to make sure that he's safe. Right, and actually, it's so sticky because of the heat. I'm going to have her holding her paws up as though to catch him. Oh, sorry, just realised I was just off screen there. So I'm just rolling out 2 arms. And I still need to make the tail. Because she's going to be attached to the gifts, so I may not make it a wire armature tail. I may just have it curled round and back in to the body, because she'll be mostly supported by the gifts there, you see. So she needs to be bent back a little bit more, and then her paws need to be up as though she's trying to catch or making sure that she's there to catch the little mouse if the little mouse needs it. So a little bit of that again to make a good join, and then so she'll be holding her one paw up there and the other paw on the other side. Right, and then she will stand on there. It needs to be a little bit back. There. Right. Okay, that I think is about as far as I can go tonight. But thank you so much for being on the call, assuming that I'm not talking to myself. And thank you for putting up with my, huge blethers today. But happy feet do cause me to do that. And yes, I will post a picture. My hands are not so sticky in the morning. I'll post a picture of these ones once they're finished, and it'll be at some point tomorrow. But thank you very much for coming along, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or the evening or whatever you're doing. And yes, keep an eye out. My shop, I will have some wee creatures in my shop over the next few days. And yeah, let's see what happens. It's a big adventure. I'm very much enjoying it, and thank you very much for coming along with me and still appreciating the wee creatures. I so appreciate it. It really means the world to me. So I shall show you what these guys are like in the morning. Have a wonderful rest of the day. See you soon. Bye.